Parallel to the earth, Chen gained supernatural insight. I thought I had already reached the peak, but I didn't expect to have just started and quickly gained access to the Wanjie chat group. Dingdong. Emperor Yen has joined the group chat. Dingdong. Yi Hei has joined the chat group. Dingdong. Hei No.2 has joined the chat group. Dingdong. Paopao has joined the chat group. Dingdong. Xian Qi Zheng has joined the chat group. Dingdong. Emperor Huang has joined the chat group. A supreme existence enters the chat group and begins to boast and argue. Chen secretly observed in the crowd. Dingdong, you have gained some understanding of Huashan's sword technique by listening to it. You have created your own Zhantian pulling sword technique. Dingdong, you have gained some understanding by listening to the Beiming divine art and created your own Kuanpeng technique. Dingdong, you have gained some insights while watching Han Paopao alchemy. You have created your own one-click alchemy technique. Dingdong, you have gained some insights while watching Laozi meditate. You have created the hanging machine practice method. With the cultivation of Chen, spiritual energy overflowed, and the earth began to undergo wonderful changes. The emergence of spiritual tides and the transformation of demonic beasts have quietly ushered in an era of nationwide cultivation. Chapter 1. Overwhelming Understanding, Chatting Groups in the World. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Earth. Hangzhou. The scorching sun hung high, and in a rented house, Chen sat cross-legged on the bed. DDD, congratulations to the host for obtaining the random newbie reward. Heaven-defying comprehension. DDD, congratulations to the host for receiving the random newbie reward. Wanjie chat group. The gift distribution is completed, and the strongest auxiliary system is at your service. Wishing the host a pleasant cultivation. Accompanied by the sound of the three systems ringing in her ears, Chen opened her eyes in a daze. Did I awaken the system? Looking at everything familiar around her, Chen couldn't believe it and had an unreal feeling. System. There it is. Sleeping slot. Do you really have it? Yes, Master. The strongest auxiliary system is at your service. Wishing you a speedy enlightenment. After a while, Chen finally regained his composure, recognizing reality. 1. I have not been reborn or traveled, I am still on Earth. 2. I have obtained a system and opened 2 beginner gift packages. Adversarial intelligence and Wanjie chat group. So can I practice now? But how should I practice this? We don't know either. I have no idea. Just as Chen was still in a daze. Dingdong, Lu Bowen has joined the chat group. Dingdong, Zheng has joined the chat group. Dingdong, Li Shimin has joined the chat group. Dingdong, Yu Buchuan has joined the chat group. Accompanied by 4 sounds, Chen's attention was instantly drawn with a thought. My mind immediately immersed itself in the chat group. Lu Bowen. What is this thing? Zheng. Where are the demons? How did they appear in my palace? Li Shimin. It's strange. This place is strange. Yu Buchuan. Huashan Yu Buchuan, I have seen you all. The 4 of them spoke with a bewildered expression on their faces, chatting about their own loneliness. All right, stop making noise. This is a chat group, you're all in different worlds. There was a buzzing sound in her ears, making her a bit annoyed by the noise. Chen immediately spoke up. This. In the group, a brief silence appeared. After a moment, Zheng. I see. I understand. Li Shimin. I also know. I actually got a chat group system. Lu Bowen. Coincidentally, I have also obtained. Yu Buchuan said, Heaven wants me to prosper in Huashan. It's wonderful and wonderful. The system allows me to study hard in the chat group. Zheng. My system says to let me chat more, so that I can upgrade the system as soon as possible and introduce new members. Li Shimin. My system tells me that allowing me to showcase my personal cultivation characteristics in the group can also accelerate the growth speed of the group. Lu Bowen. Coincidentally, I am here under your Majesty's command to cut off and lock the dragon veins of the world. Do you, Taoist friends, want to take a look? Yu Buchuan said, I know the purple cloud divine skill and can cultivate my swordsmanship. Zheng. I am here to forge 12 golden men, hoping to control the fortune of the world. You can also observe. Li Shimin. Cough cough. What? I was just surrounded by barbarians, and the Geely Khan's troops were approaching the city. It's a bit troublesome. I won't come out and be ashamed for now. Watching the four of them chatting passionately, Mu Chen also had a great time watching. System, are what they say true? Yes, Master. Increasing the activity of the chat group can improve the group chat level and attract more people to join the group chat. Showcasing their respective strengths and characteristics can also help the group chat level up as soon as possible. The higher the level of group chat, the higher the level of group members attracted. Advanced group chat can even attract truly powerful individuals standing at the top of the heavens. Mu Chen was communicating with the system, but at this moment, in the group chat, the members had already begun to showcase their respective worlds. Everyone has just acquired the system, full of freshness, and is very interested in new things. Moreover, the system has said that powerful group chats can attract invincible experts. Everyone wants to see and interact with invincible beings. For example, Zheng. When I learned this information, the first thing that came to mind was the long-awaited art of longevity. The first one to be displayed is Zheng. Zheng's presentation was ordinary and unremarkable. He filmed a scene during the court session, with a lot of shots focused on himself. The video often lasted for 10 minutes, and he filmed his majestic appearance for 5 minutes. Li Shimin. Damn it. Is this okay too? Then I can do it too. Lu Bowen. Cough, the Qin Emperor is quite interesting, but this content is a bit lacking. Yu Buchuan said, didn't they say they were looking at the 12 golden men? Why did they even take pictures of themselves? Zheng was told that. Blush. I'm just trying my hand. Come first. I'm going to court and doing business. It's inconvenient. Zheng never expected that his majestic and handsome face would not suppress the scene, but rather be questioned. This Nima. It's outrageous. Do you all turn a blind eye to my authority? Mu Chen opened a short video of Zheng Fa. In 10 minutes, Dingdong, after watching Zheng's photography works, you have gained some understanding. You have created your own majestic shooting techniques. In my mind, the sound of the system rings. Mu Chen. On the spot, Mu Chen remained speechless. Shen Mo's understanding of shooting techniques is that how my supernatural intelligence is used. After watching the video, Mu Chen also subdued Zheng, the old six. At this moment, in the group, Li Shimin had already become a shrinking turtle. After Zheng took the lead, Li Shimin immediately realized the problem. This is a group chat with the heavens, this is a chat with the existence of other worlds. The emperor's status that he takes pride in is not much. Has Zheng not given any face as the Qin emperor? Good guy, take a selfie and get slapped in the face. If I were to take something without any nourishment myself, can't you take it out and still be watched by someone? Forget it, let's not embarrass ourselves anymore. Let's just watch others pretend and compare ourselves honestly. Li Shimin stopped speaking. Zheng is gloomy and unhappy. I feel a little secretly angry in my heart. Good guy, you don't even appreciate the videos I made. I want to see what skills you all have. In the group. After neither Zheng nor Li Shimin spoke, Lu Bowen said, it's okay. Today, I'll make a fool of myself. After speaking, everyone suddenly shook in front of them, and then the sky and earth spun around. In front of each group member, a virtual large screen appeared, giving people a feeling of being there on the screen. Lu Bowen stands alone on the top of Mount Taishan. Chapter 2. Void Dragon Production Technique. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Zheng. What's going on? Zheng. Isn't it a short video? Yubuchuan said, this is a live broadcast mode. Didn't your system tell you, Emperor Qin? Zheng. The system didn't tell me, damn it. What a strong live streaming mode, it would make me look foolish when I post a short video. Watching the conversation between the two, Li Shimin remained silent and silent. I don't want to be a conspicuous figure, letting Zheng take the lead. Although we don't know what this live streaming mode is, don't we know now? It's not embarrassing, ha ha ha. Soon, everyone quieted down in the group chat. Everyone has been attracted by Lu Bowen's actions in the light curtain. Lu Bowen's world. Top of Mount Taishan. Lu Bowen stands on the top of Mount Taishan, looking at the sky at a 45-degree angle. Ladies and gentlemen, today I will show you the art of locking the dragon. I have locked up all the dragons in Zhou, and now only the Mount Taishan dragon is left. Lu Bowen's voice murmured, and everyone couldn't help but concentrate. Obviously, Lu Bowen's world is not an ordinary mortal world, as he involves some rules for cultivating immortals. A terrifying aura began to flow out, at this moment. Lu Bowen exuded a fairy-like aura from his body. Lu Bowen's current state has completely stunned Zheng, Li Shimin, Yubuchuan. Zheng. This. Li Shimin. Isn't this a fairy? Yubuchuan's eyes were wide open, and his heart was secretly emptying. Originally, the various performances of Zheng and Li Shimin made Yubuchuan think that the people in the group were all ordinary people. He was already considered a martial arts master among the four, but now, hey guy, I'm still practicing martial arts. How could you, Lu Bowen, be practicing immortality? I thought you were bragging, but now you're really awesome. After being shocked, the three of them had already begun to concentrate on observing this scene. This means don't miss it. And at this moment, Lu Bowen has already made a bold move. Sword. A move with the right hand. In an instant, the spiritual energy of heaven and earth transformed into a huge long sword, which was so long that it could not be seen at a glance, gathering spirits. Lu Bowen pinched the spell in his hand. In an instant, chains flew out of the void, and colorful chains directly ran through the whole Mount Taishan mountain. And at the moment when these chains run through Mount Taishan, a dragon's chant resounds through the sky. Endless spiritual energy begins to explode. Soon, the wind and clouds were surging, lightning flashed and thunder thundered, and the Mount Taishan dragon vein was born out of Mount Taishan. Mount Taishan dragon is writhing, trying to struggle, Lu Bowen didn't give a chance at all. He bent his finger and the giant sword that was already ready to be unleashed suddenly fell. The sword light flickered. In a twinkling of an eye, the Mount Taishan dragon vein had been completely cut into. Serious injuries weakened. Breath, seal. Lu Bowen made a handprint and set up a great formation of mountains and rivers, then sealed the seriously injured and sleeping dragon vein back into Mount Taishan mountain. At this time in Mount Taishan, the concentration of Reiki drops. Suddenly no longer the previous scene of the fairy family curling up. The screen rotates. The live broadcast is over. Lu Bowen. Ha ha ha, I have done a good job. After I cut off the dragon vein of Mount Taishan mountain, I'm afraid it will be difficult to become an immortal. In the group, there was a moment of silence. Why aren't you all talking? Lu Bowen spoke again. In an instant. Zheng. Damn it. Li Shimin. What do you want us to say? Yubuchuan said, old Lu, who is cultivating immortals with you. That's amazing. What means is this? The dragon vein. What is this about? What world are you in? In a moment, the entire group chat was completely boiling. Zheng, Li Shimin, Yubuchuan, they were all stunned. Good guy. I thought everyone was ordinary, but ended up with a cultivator in the group. Lu Bowen's portrait flickered. Lu Bowen. Actually, it's not that exaggerated. In fact, I borrowed the power of array. You should have seen just now that the power of heaven and earth is for my use. I borrowed the power of mountains and rivers under the heaven. Because the dragon veins before have been locked by me, Mount Taishan Zulong can't command the world. It's hard to applaud alone. In addition, I borrowed the power of mountains and rivers and the national fortune of the Ming dynasty, so I cut the dragon veins. It just looks amazing, cultivators. Actually, I don't know what cultivators are. What I know is all learned from the heavenly book by chance. In my world, it seems like I know, while others are normal. Lu Bowen's explanation made everyone even more silent. What a special thing, it's borrowing the power of mountains and rivers, and it's also borrowing the fortune of the country. Are you still saying that you're not cultivating immortality? Zheng. Old Lu, I despise you. Li Shimin. Emperor Qin, I despise you together. Yu Buchuan said, how should I take action if you reveal this skill? In the group chat, members are discussing at this moment, but the sound of the system rang in Mu Chen's ear. Dingdong, congratulations to you, Master, for your understanding of Lu Bowen's dragon-slaying technique. You have created your own technique. The Void Dragon-slaying technique. What? Upon hearing the system's announcement, Mu Chen couldn't help but be taken aback. Void Dragon production technique. What kind of technique is this special? Have I understood? How come I don't know? Soon, Mu Chen's mind was filled with a pile of relevant information. With a sharp pain in her brain, Mu Chen felt a daze. After a moment, Mu Chen came to her senses, her eyes filled with astonishment and shock. That's right, the information that just came to mind is the Void Dragon technique. The Void Dragon production technique is a super advanced form of Lu Bowen's dragon-slaying technique, but its effect is completely opposite. Lu Bowen's dragon-slaying technique can leverage the power of heaven, earth, mountains, and rivers, as well as the power of national luck, to slay and seal the dragon veins of the world. And the technique of creating dragons in the void, on the contrary, there is no dragon vein in the world, but using this skill can create dragons in the void. Create a dragon vein directly. What does the dragon vein represent? Dragon veins at least represent spiritual energy. This technique is equivalent to directly producing spiritual energy in a world without spiritual energy, transforming it into a world that can be practiced. Damn it. Bull fork. After clarifying the effect of the Void Dragon production technique, even Mu Chen couldn't help but be stunned. What means is this? Is this already beyond the scope of cultivation? This is approximately equal to creator. Although it can only create dragon veins, it is definitely impressive. Gudong. Mu Chen couldn't help but swallow his saliva. Is this the power of the supernatural insight? At this moment, Mu Chen truly felt what it means to have an extraordinary understanding. The more amazing the thing is, the greater the impact of one's own intelligence. Mu Chen is already eager to give it a try. Quickly, the flickering group chat once again caught Mu Chen's attention. By the way, there's also Yu Buchuan. He should be using the Huashan sword technique, right? If you look at the Huashan sword technique, do you have a chance to understand and practice the martial arts? Mu Chen touched her chin, pondering, and her eyebrows were filled with anticipation. If before, Mu Chen was only curious about the means of watching others, now it is extremely urgent. This thing is closely related to one's own interests. With the blessing of supernatural intelligence, I can glimpse the leopard from the means of other group members and comprehend some new things. Although the technique of producing dragons in the void may be superficial, it is actually a means of borrowing the power of mountains and rivers and the power of qi, not a method of cultivation. It is unrealistic to rely on this practice. But since I can understand the Void Dragon production technique from Lu Bowen's dragon-slaying technique, then let's take a look at Yu Buchuan's methods and understand a cultivation method. Isn't it excessive? Chapter 3. Cultivation Techniques. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. During contemplation and group chatting. Zheng. Lao Yu, it's your turn. Lu Bowen. Yes, Master Yu. I'm also very curious. Yu Buchuan said, cough, what? Then I'll make a fool of myself. As he spoke, everyone shook in front of him. The live streaming function of group chat is enabled for a moment. Everyone seemed to have entered a brand new world. In front of them was the towering Huashan mountain. On the cliffs, where the mountain peak was located, Yu Buchuan was sitting cross-legged at the top of the mountain. It was in the early morning at the peak of Mount Hua that Yu Buchuan gradually calmed down his mood. Ladies and gentlemen, let me first demonstrate my unique skill of the Huashan sect. The Purple Cloud Divine Skill. Yu Buchuan's voice rang out. That's right, he decided to directly use the strongest skill of his Huashan sect Qi sect, the Purple Cloud Divine Skill. Before Lu Bowen used his techniques, Yu Buchuan only wanted to use the Huashan sword technique to test the virtual and real abilities of his group of friends. However, after Lu Bowen used such earth-shattering techniques, Yu Buchuan suddenly felt that he had used a petty heart to conquer the belly of a gentleman in my world of martial arts. Although I may say I have martial arts skills, everyone in the group chat is even more impressive than me. Zheng, Emperor of the Great Qin, no matter how excellent his martial arts are, he is probably not rare. If you move your fingers, you will be 1,000 soldiers and horses. Li Shimin, the emperor of the Tang dynasty, was of the same nature as Emperor Qin, and his identity as a member of the martial arts world was probably seen as a source of entertainment by others. As for Lu Bowen, that means they are all comparable to land immortals. Such means, Yu Buchuan believed himself to be far inferior. After this comparison, if I want to establish myself in this group, I really need to show some real skills, otherwise it's inevitable to be looked down upon by others. So after some consideration, Yu Buchuan decided to directly use his unique skill of Zhenpai, Zixia Divine Skill, and give it his all. Yu Buchuan sat cross-legged on the mountaintop, spitting out a mouthful of turbid air from his chest. In my mouth, the words and phrases of the Purple Cloud Divine Skill were revealed, without any hidden secrets. Yu Buchuan hopes that everyone can see their strengths and weaknesses in this cultivation method, so as not to be underestimated by others. However, this world of martial arts is still a world of martial arts, and compared to Lu Bowen, its movements are still much smaller. On the horizon, a faint purple aura fell into Yu Buchuan's body. This purple aura is very faint. If it weren't for everyone's careful observation, they might not be able to see it clearly. But because everyone was reading it carefully, they all noticed it. Oh! There's something about this Purple Cloud Divine Skill. Zheng couldn't help but be surprised. It really mobilized the power of heaven and earth. This technique is good. Li Shimin also expressed approval. During the conversation, Yu Buchuan had already completed the demonstration. Seeing everyone's praise in the group, Yu Buchuan couldn't help but smile slightly. What we need is this effect. As long as it's not looked down upon, it's good. I apologize to all of you. This martial arts technique was created by our ancestor Huashan, who can adjust the purple qi of heaven and earth to enter the body for cultivation. Unfortunately, Yu's strength is not strong enough to fully showcase the full essence of the technique. However, it is said that practicing this technique can prolong life. Qin and Tang emperors may give it a try. Yu Buchuan chuckled and made a speech. Yu Buchuan's short words contain multiple meanings. Firstly, it silently demonstrates that this cultivation method can mobilize the power of heaven and earth, making it a relatively powerful one. Secondly, it is also stated that the reason why it is not obvious to mobilize the power of heaven and earth is because one cannot do it themselves, not because the martial arts are not good. The Huashan sect is still very impressive, and the Zixia divine art is also very impressive. Finally, it was pointed out that the Purple Cloud Divine Skill may prolong life. A skill that can increase lifespan after cultivation is amazing, isn't it? 3 layers of meaning are silently highlighted in a few words, and Yu Buchuan's purpose is also very simple, purely not wanting everyone to look down on the Huashan school. You can look down on me, Yu Buchuan, but you can't look down on me, Huashan sect. In Lao Yu's life, his only obsession was to revitalize the Huashan sect. In order to revitalize the Huashan sect, he could do anything. And just as everyone was talking but the sound of the system rang out again in Mu Chen's ear, Dingdong, congratulations to the host for watching the leader of the Huashan sect, Yu Buchuan, practice the purple cloud divine skill and gain some understanding. He has created his own technique. Purple Qi comes from the east to practice Qi technique. After hearing the system sound in her ear, Mu Chen didn't act rashly this time, but waited quietly for a while. After a moment, as expected, a pile of information came to mind. That's right, it's just purple Qi coming from the east to practice Qi technique. After learning about this skill, Mu Chen's eyes suddenly lit up. Good guy, this cultivation technique is just 2 words. Cowhide. Sure enough, I saw Yu Buchuan practicing and truly understood the cultivation technique. Undoubtedly, it's an incredible insight. This is really an old reversal of heaven. A solid Qi refining technique. Cultivating through the purple air of heaven and earth is about swallowing the essence of the sun and the moon. That's right, this purple Qi from the east is a solid cultivation technique. Looking at the 2 martial arts in her mind, Mu Chen was already a bit restless just when Mu Chen's heart was restless. In group chat, the 4 people's gaze had already fallen on Mu Chen's body. One after another. Li Shimin has already said that his situation is not very good, so it is difficult to share. Except for Li Shimin, Zheng, Yu Buchuan, and Lu Bowen have all demonstrated themselves, and everyone has already gained some understanding of each other. After playing around for a while, everyone finally noticed Mu Chen, who had been quietly diving in the group. Lu Bowen. At Mukin, good guy, you hid quite deep, Taoist friend. Zheng. Oh, I almost forgot, there are 5 people in our group. Yu Buchuan said, little friend, let me say something. Are you also here to showcase? Didi. Being frantically questioned by a few people, Mu Chen's ear was constantly ringing with the system's prompt sound. The system's prompt sound pulled Mu Chen's attention back to the group chat. Seeing the crazy at own Zheng in the group chat, Mu Chen also smiled. If it had been before, I wouldn't have been able to show you anything. I wouldn't have been able to showcase a 5-year simulation of the college entrance examination, right? But now, hello everyone. My name is Mu Chen. Just now, I saw that everyone was chatting happily, so I didn't speak up. Mu Chen said hello. Zheng said, how nice of you, old 6, to have witnessed my dragon Yen not speaking. Sigma, number 34, Li Shimin said, what kind of world are you? Are you also an emperor? Lu Bowen. Taoist friend, do you want to show off your skills? Yu Buchuan. Welcome, let's show it off. Let's promote our understanding, work together, and make the group bigger and stronger. As soon as Mu Chen spoke, she was instantly welcomed by the 4 people in the group. The level of the group is still very low now, and there are few members in the group. Therefore, after a brief conversation, everyone is already quite familiar, and there are no too many concerns when speaking. Everyone has put down their identities. Everyone is in different worlds, with only interests, no conflicts, and no distinction between high and low. Naturally, they are all in a relatively equal state. Okay, since everyone is so enthusiastic, then I'll make a fool of myself. Just now, I saw Lu Daochang demonstrating his dragon-slaying technique, which gave me some insights into a unique and wonderful use of mountain and river power. Let me show you. As soon as Mu Chen said this, the group fell silent in an instant. Have you gained an understanding of my martial arts? Hush. Taoist friend, don't scare me. Lu Bowen was stunned. Li Shimin. Is it really fake? I just saw it too. Why didn't I feel anything? Zheng. I did feel something. What is it? I feel very powerful, very impressive. Li Shimin. Mu Chen's words immediately aroused everyone's curiosity. Chapter 4. Zheng's careful thoughts. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Earth. Hangzhou. In rental housing. Mu Chen's silent communication system, DDD, is the live streaming feature enabled. Please select the live streaming function option. Panoramic live broadcast. Automatically adjust the best position. Adjustment completed. With Mu Chen activating the live broadcast function in group chat as they were speaking, Zheng, Li Shimin, Lu Bowen, and Yu Buchuan all felt a flash in their eyes. Suddenly, there was a whirlwind around the world. The scene in front of everyone has undergone earth-shattering changes at this moment. Everyone's perspective appears in Mount Taishan. Mount Taishan is bustling and bustling. Tourists are climbing up the mountain under the scorching sun. The attire of this world is quite unique. Zheng looked at the tourists and couldn't help but be surprised. Li Shimin. It's indeed a bit strange, and those women, this outfit is too open, isn't it? Lu Bowen. At Mukan, who is your Taoist friend? Yu Buchuan. Is this Mount Taishan? Mu Chen. At everyone, don't worry. I'm opening a panoramic live broadcast mode. I'm not in Mount Taishan, but I'm going to attack Mount Taishan. Lu Bowen was shocked and said, What? What does it mean? Not only Lu Bowen, Zheng, Li Shimin, and Yu Buchuan were also stunned. Not Mount Taishan, but Mount Taishan. Is it difficult to take action thousands of miles away? Hiss. Mu Chen's words left everyone confused. My self-created technique is called Void Dragon Production Technique, which was inspired by Lu Daochang. Everyone, just take a look. As the words fell, before everyone could react, Mu Chen closed her eyes and began to use them. Buzz. The cultivation method has just been activated. The entire Dragon Kingdom suddenly shook. Earth. Dragon Kingdom. 1.4 billion people, no matter where they are in the Dragon Kingdom, all feel a tremble. Underground Kyoto. In a simple courtyard. Wang Lao, Zhou Lao, Li Lao, and the three elders of Longhua are discussing the international situation. With the rise of the Dragon Kingdom, the international situation has also begun to change, and the most obvious is that after the comprehensive national strength of the Dragon Kingdom has become stronger, it can no longer hide. In the past, there were always stronger countries charging ahead than the Dragon Kingdom. The most dominant and beautiful country in the world never considered the Dragon Kingdom as its primary target, believing that it could assimilate and be sanctioned and controlled through political, economic, and other means. And now, looking back suddenly, beautiful country realizes that at some point, Dragon Country has become so powerful. Although not yet comparable to the beautiful country, it has made the beautiful country feel threatened. As a result, international disputes began to emerge frequently, and even local battles emerged with the changes in the international situation. As pillars, Wang Lao, Zhou Lao, and Li Lao have seen a sharp increase in workload. Any decision made by three people is like walking on thin ice, and considering many things under the discussion of the three, the Dragon Kingdom is still steadily developing. There haven't been any major events lately. Yeah, there have been quite a few stops in the beautiful country. They are too busy domestically, but our current situation is not optimistic either. We need to find a new point of economic growth, which has reached a bottleneck. In the midst of the three elders' earnest words. Buzz. Suddenly, the ground shook, and San Lao only felt a slight shake in his body. The vibration only lasted for a moment before disappearing. The three elders looked at each other in confusion. You just. Wang looked at the two old brothers beside him. Li and Zhou nodded at the same time. The three of them instantly changed their faces. Isn't there another big earthquake somewhere? Quickly, have someone investigate. Nowadays, there is some instability in the domestic market and the international situation is unpredictable. If there is another major earthquake, it would be a bit tricky to deal with soon. After some phone calls, the three elders understood the situation. After learning about the situation in various regions, the three elders' faces became extremely ugly. Surprisingly, vibrations were felt everywhere. This is not a major earthquake in one place, it is a nationwide vibration. This The three elders were stunned. Buzz, deep underground, there is another earthquake following that, on. Suddenly, a dragon's roar echoed in the ears of every person in the Dragon Kingdom. The sound of the dragon's chant was brief and powerful, only appearing for a moment after the dragon chant. The Dragon Kingdom once again regained peace. Everything seems to have never happened before at this point. The official system has been running rapidly, and the three elders are also actively investigating the reasons for this abnormal situation, and it is destined that exploration will not yield results at this point. In the chat group, it's already a sensation. Zheng. Just now, Li Shimin. Did I see the birth of the dragon vein? Lu Bowen. How could it be? Dragon veins appear out of thin air. This technique. Yu Buchuan said, at Mukin, brother, what's wrong with you? What tricks are you using? Ha ha ha, I'm sorry, I just focused on using it and didn't explain it to everyone. I just borrowed the power of mountains and rivers and the luck of the Dragon Kingdom to cultivate a dragon vein. When Lu Daochang practiced the dragon slaying technique earlier, I had some insights, and then I slightly improved and came to understand this method. I named it Void Dragon Production Technique, which means cultivating the dragon veins out of thin air. Mu Chen's explanation fell in the ears of the four people, but it completely dumbfounded them. What kind of thing? Void Dragon Production Technique. Lu Bowen listened and said he had come to understand the divine power of using his dragon slaying technique. His mouth twitched and he didn't know what to say. There is a divine insight. Slightly improved in a divine way is the divine ability you are using related to my dragon slaying technique for half a penny. I just chopped off the already existing dragon veins and sealed them. Are you just creating the dragon veins in the void? Good guy, this is equivalent to me killing someone. Do you have any insights? And directly created a clay figurine to become Nua. Is this insight so profound? Cough, cough, cough. What's going on? Brother, you're really. Yu Buchuan said half of his words but couldn't speak anymore. I really don't know what to say. Mu Chen said, I don't want to either. You don't know, mainly because my world doesn't have any dragon veins or spiritual energy, and there's really no spiritual energy at all. I'm also helpless. I want to cut the dragon veins, but there's no way to do it. I have to produce and sell it myself, and create a dragon vein. In this case, I can at least transform my spiritual energy on my own. Otherwise, you can say, how can I cultivate in this ghost world? Creating this cultivation method is also a helpless move. Mu Chen sighed and said. And as soon as these words were spoken, several members of the group chat fell silent again. Listen, everyone listen, are you speaking human language? Is there no spiritual energy in the world? Is this the reason why you created your martial arts? Because the world is too garbage, so you have to be awesome. Is there a connection between these two? The four of them were very speechless, especially Zheng and Li Shimin. Damn it. Do I want face? Is there no spiritual energy in your world? My world also lacks spiritual energy. Just as he was thinking about it, Zheng's eyes suddenly widened. Zheng. Cough. At Mu Chen, this Taoist friend. Mu Chen. What? What advice does Emperor Qin have? Being inexplicably at, Mu Chen has not yet figured out the situation. Zheng said, what's going on? Look, my world doesn't have spiritual energy either. This. Chapter 5. I still have insights. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De Co Lois Ara Trong Quatrin Lay Text. Chapter 6. Practice of Martial Arts, Hangzhou City Startles. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Zheng. Do you still have any insights? Li Shimin. Brother Mu, why don't you first demonstrate this cultivation technique? Lu Bowen said, yes. First, let me talk about this new cultivation method. We are foolish, and this void dragon production technique is extremely profound. Even if we talk about it, it may be difficult to immediately understand. It doesn't matter if we postpone it for now. Yu Buchuan said, yes, it's not urgent, it's not urgent. At this moment, Yu Buchuan's heart was the most shocking. Wow, actually it was the technique I learned from my cultivation of the purple cloud divine art. I have been practicing the purple cloud divine skill for a lifetime, why haven't I gained much insight? Did you understand after just reading it once? Huashan sect. Sigua cliff. At the peak of Mount Hua, Yu Buchuan was stunned by himself the great Ming dynasty. The top of Mount Taishan. Lu Bowen, who had just finished cutting his dragon vein, stood between the mountains and forests, immersed in a chat group, waiting for Mu Qin to speak Tang dynasty. Li Shimin, who had just experienced the Xuanwu Gate incident, encountered the Jili Khan siege of Chang'an when he first ascended to Dabao. On the banks of the Wei River, there are countless armies at such a critical moment. Li Shimin locked himself in the dormitory. Although Jili Khan was strong, Li Shimin already had a solution in his heart. Although he had to pay some price, retreating from the enemy was not a problem. But the changes in this chat group good guy, the Void Dragon technique. A cultivation technique that can swallow spiritual energy. If you learn these two martial arts, does it mean that my Tang dynasty can also revive its spiritual energy? Daqin in Yingzheng's sleeping palace. At this moment, Yingzheng was already a bit at a loss. Fortunately, we are not currently in court, so there is no need to worry about being conspicuous and being watched by others. It's not that Yingzheng has poor composure, it's just that the things in this chat group are too awesome. Chongsheng. Go on like this, it's really possible to live forever. Previously, although Yingzheng had been pursuing immortality and searching for the whereabouts of immortals in various ways, in fact, he himself understood that the saying of immortals was elusive, and whether there were immortals in this world was unknown, but now Yingzheng really saw it. As long as you learn the technique of producing dragons in the void, you can directly cultivate the Daqin dragon veins. If we learn this cultivation technique again, there is hope for longevity. Furthermore, to take it a step further, even if we cannot survive now, when is it now? It's the lowest level in the chat group. I have just started a chat group and already gained such terrifying benefits. If I wait for the level of the chat group to rise, is there a fairy in Daqin? I don't know, but there must be other worlds. Yingzheng stared passionately at Mu Chen's portrait. At Mukin, big brother, speak up and show us the cultivation technique you created yourself. I also want to. ******. In group chat. Seeing everyone's enthusiasm being quite high, Mu Chen happened to be in high spirits. Yingzheng and others are excited, but in fact, Mu Chen is the most excited one. What happened today is too bizarre and wonderful. Li Shimin, Yingzheng, Lu Bowen, Yu Buchuan and others only obtained a chat group system, but they not only did I gain access to the chat group system, but I also gained incredible insight. And after just a round of verification, it has been thoroughly proven that this incredible insight has an incredible effect. Without spiritual energy, create spiritual energy. No cultivation, create cultivation. What if the earth is a place of spiritual isolation and cannot be cultivated? I broke it with my intelligence. As thoughts drift in the chat group, everyone has already started chatting. At Mu Chen. Mu Gu, where are you? At Mukin, big brother, what did you do? Watching everyone so enthusiastic, Mu Chen immediately opened the live streaming mode. The scene in front of Yingzheng, Li Shimin, Lu Bowen, and Yu Buchuan suddenly changed, followed by a whirlwind. This familiar change made everyone couldn't help but rejoice. After a moment, the scene in front of everyone gradually became clearer. The live shooting uses a dual view mode. One scene is Mu Chen. At this moment, Mu Chen is sitting cross-legged on the bed of the rental house, with the air conditioning on and the window open. She is wearing short-sleeved shorts and facing out the window. Another scene is over Hangzhou, the overall picture. The demonstration has not yet started, and everyone has been attracted by the high-rise buildings in Hangzhou Ying. Why is this place? Why is this building so high? Li Shimin. What is driving on the ground? What kind of mount is this? Lu Bowen. This world seems a bit different from ours. Yu Buchuan said, it's really amazing. This strange outfit is unheard of. And there are too many people. Right. Amidst everyone's discussion. Suddenly, the world changes color. Over Hangzhou, purple air began to gather and linger on. Mount Taishan dragon sings and dragon veins roar, emitting rich aura constantly, and these spiritual energies span thousands of miles, converging into the sky above Hangzhou with the purple chi of heaven and earth. Is this? The sudden change attracted everyone's attention and restrained their minds. Big Brother has started practicing. Zheng instantly focused his attention on the first shot, focusing on Mu Chen sitting cross-legged in the rental room, and not only Zheng, Li Shimin, Yu Buchuan, and Lu Bowen are all focused on watching Mu Chen in the picture at this moment. Although Earth's technology makes people feel novel, compared to cultivation techniques, people are still more interested in them. Not bad. Mu Chen has already started practicing, and this time, with the experience of teaching the Void Dragon production technique the previous time, Mu Chen has directly uploaded the technique to the group file while demonstrating his cultivation, so that everyone can understand while watching. However, in the blink of an eye, the entire Hangzhou city was already covered in a purple sky at the same time. Kyoto. In a room. Wang Lao, Zhou Lao, and Li Lao have a solemn expression on their faces. Wang looked up at the two elders. The situation has already been reported, and tremors have been felt all over the country, with the roar of something heard. However, it quickly disappeared and the epicenter was not detected. Mr. Wang briefly summarized the information reported below and told Mr. Zhou and Mr. Li. What do you think? Mr. Wang frowned. Based on this information, he had no way of judging what had happened and had no clue. Zhou and Li looked at each other, both shaking their heads. The amount of information is too small. Based on this information, I think it may be something that happened, but there is no way to determine what exactly happened. After Li finished speaking, Zhou Lao beside him began to look pale with eyes. Old Zhou, what expression are you on? Upon noticing Zhou's expression, Li immediately stopped working. I said, Lao Li, can you listen to what you just said? You're really talking a lot of nonsense. When Old Li heard the words, he couldn't help blushing. Blush upon careful consideration. It is true that I have indeed said a lot of nonsense. What do you say now? Li looked at Zhou angrily. Let people continue to investigate. I don't believe it anymore. Did a nationwide earthquake occur for no reason? This is not scientific. After Zhou finished speaking, Wang nodded. It seems that only now. Wang's old words have not been finished yet. Dong dong dong. The door was knocked on. The gaze of the three elders was instantly drawn. When three people are discussing things in the room, normal things will not disturb them unless big deal. Come in. Wang looked up and couldn't help but furrow his brows. Zhou and Li's faces also became serious. What happened again? In a moment of confusion, the Secretary General had hastily opened the door. Lao Lin, what's going on? Looking at the serious middle-aged man in front of him, Wang couldn't help but feel uneasy. Wang Lao, Zhou Lao, Li Lao. Look at this. Lao Lin handed the tablet in his hand to San Lao. On the tablet, it is Hangzhou, a city shrouded in purple air. Chapter 7. 12 Peaks of Gas Refining Period. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. What is this? San Lao couldn't help but look at Lao Lin. This is the current situation in Hangzhou, where the sky is shrouded in a purple cloud layer. The three elders exchanged a glance and could see the seriousness in each other's eyes. What's going on? There have been a lot of abnormal situations lately. Lao Wang, do you think this matter will be different from before? Let's investigate along this line. The official has begun a silent investigation. And at this moment, Hangzhou the people have completely exploded. I'll go. Why did it turn purple this day? Does this cloud seem to come from the east? Is this purple air coming from the east? I think it's time for spiritual revival. Similar scenes have appeared in recent novels. Upstairs, I think you have a grudge against the author. Are you planning to send the author in? On the internet and in the hustle and bustle of the world, netizens are the most concerned about such events, and everyone is discussing them one by one and for all of this. At this moment, Chen, the initiator, is meticulously showing the group members in the chat group the cultivation techniques she has comprehended. Zheng, Li Shimin, Yu Buchuan, and Lu Bowen have all been stunned by this moment through the perspective of two shots. Everyone could clearly see the changes happening over Hangzhou at this moment. At the same time, I also saw that the purple air in the sky gradually turned into invisible gas flowing towards Chen's body, until it entered the room and reached the surface of Chen's skin before turning purple again. At this moment, Chen's entire body was enveloped by a faint purple halo. Zheng. Good guy, this commotion is too loud, isn't it? Li Shimin. Master Yu, why didn't there be so much movement when you were practicing? Yu Buchuan said, nonsense, I'm not a cultivator. This technique has nothing to do with my purple cloud divine skill, okay? Lu Bowen. What a powerful technique. It's truly a cultivation technique. Purple chi comes from the east to practice chi technique. So powerful. Zheng. Oh. What did you see, Taoist Lu? Lu Bowen. When you look at the purple clouds over the city, it is the purple air coming from the east. If you start to practice this skill, you can attract the purple air from the world to practice. Generally, the first ray of sunshine in the morning will be accompanied by the strongest essence of the world, that is, the purple air coming from the east. You need to practice this skill in the morning when you start to practice it. After a pause, Lu Bowen continued, this technique originated from the purple cloud divine skill. I believe that the purple cloud divine skill is most clear to Master Yu. Master Yu's cultivation at the peak of Mount Daohua in the early morning must be for the first ray of the purple chi of heaven and earth when the sun rises. Yu Buchuan said, not bad, the core of Zixia divine skill is to use this strand of heaven and earth purple energy to nourish oneself. But the current movement of Brother Mu. Lu Bowen said, this is because Mu Dao Yu has already cultivated this skill to the highest level. Practicing to the highest level can activate the purple energy of heaven and earth for your own use, and the cultivation speed is countless times faster than that of the entry-level. This means that Mu Dao Yu is in a world where there is no spiritual energy, and the dragon veins are not strong enough to generate too much spiritual power from heaven and earth. That's why you can only achieve this effect. If you switch to a world with rich spiritual energy, the effect of this skill will increase exponentially. So, what do you mean, Taoist? Does this cultivation still depend on the world? The stronger the world, the better the effect of this cultivation. Li Shimin exclaimed in surprise. Lu Bowen said, yes, it is this world that restricts Mu Daoyu's cultivation. Lu Bowen couldn't help but feel emotional. And listening to Lu Bowen's analysis, Zheng suddenly had a bubble. Zheng. Lu Daochang is knowledgeable, but wasn't this martial art created by Big Brother? How did you see it so clearly, Lu Daochang? Lu Bowen. Didn't you download the file? The brief introduction of this cultivation method is very clear. What I'm talking about is the basic knowledge of this cultivation method. Lu Bowen looked confused. Zheng. Li Shimin. Yu Buchuan said, Immediately, the group chat fell into a brief silence, and then in the group files, the download count of Purple Chi Dong Lai Chi practice technique has jumped from 1 jump to 4. Everyone silently opened the cultivation file, and indeed, in the most prominent position at the beginning, Chen detailed the various explanations of this cultivation. That's what Lu Bowen just said. Lu Bowen. Did you see that? I just recited according to the teachings in the martial arts. Zheng. Li Shimin. Yu Buchuan. Suddenly, the three of them remained speechless. You old Taoist are not ethical. You look like this, will it make us look silly, okay? With Mu Chen's cultivation demonstration, the group chat fell into a brief silence. Everyone was seriously comprehending the technique, while comparing it with Mu Chen's demonstration. After truly seeing the main content of the cultivation method, everyone realized a very serious problem. Damn it. I can't understand again. That's right, this is another extremely difficult technique to comprehend, like the Void Dragon production technique. This cultivation method, even compared to Mu Chen's cultivation demonstration, it is difficult to understand. After watching for a while, all four of them gave up in group chat. It's getting lively again. Zheng. What should I do? I can't understand it. Li Shimin. Obscure, too obscure. I can only understand a little bit. Yu Buchuan said, cough. I'm ashamed, I can't understand. Lu Boan said, it's normal. Although Mu Daoyou's technique originated from Zixia divine skill, it's actually completely different. It's normal not to understand it, and I'm also confused. It seems that we can only explain it to you after Mu Daoyou have demonstrated it. Zheng. That's all we can do. Li Shimin. I'm really ashamed. I'm afraid there are two divine arts that I can't understand. Or my understanding is too poor. Yu Buchuan said, who said it's not? If I succeed in practicing Qi, who else in the martial arts world would be my opponent? Lu Boan said, don't worry, take your time. We are all members of the same group, and we are all working together. I think Mu Dao's friend is good, so if we humbly ask for advice, he should be able to teach us. In the group chat, the four of them looked up and sighed. The martial arts are very powerful and effective, but even if they are presented to oneself, they cannot understand this as enlightenment. The technique created by Mu Chen has powerful functions, but the only drawback is its obscurity. Ordinary people simply cannot comprehend. Of course, as the creator of the martial arts, Mu Chen is quite adept at practicing the technique she has created, whether it is the technique of producing dragons in the void or the technique of practicing Qi with purple Qi coming from the east. Mu Chen's cultivation is directly a great accomplishment. The dragon veins produced by the void dragon technique also have levels. At the beginning, the dragon veins produced are similar, but their potential is not even the slightest difference. The deeper the understanding of the technique and the more proficient the use, the stronger the potential of the dragon veins produced. The technique of producing dragons in the void and Lu Boan's dragon slaying technique have similarities and differences. Although Lu Boan's dragon slaying technique is called dragon slaying technique, it is actually divided into two parts. Dragon slaying and sealing. The void dragon production technique, which originated from this dragon slaying technique, is also divided into two parts. Dragon production and cultivation. The higher the proficiency of the cultivation method, the higher the potential of the dragon veins produced, and the better the cultivation effect. In other words, the faster the evolution of the dragon veins. And the same goes for practicing Qi technique with purple Qi coming from the east. The higher the proficiency, the faster the cultivation. With Mu Chen's proficiency in this technique, if it were placed in the world of immortality and chivalry, it would probably take off directly in place. Unfortunately, there is not much essence of the earth at all. The dragon vein is also just born, and there are not many essence and spiritual powers of the world to be eradicated, so even if it is the spiritual power of the world, it is difficult for Mukin to break through to a high level. But this progress is still very obvious. At this moment, Mu Chen sitting cross-legged on the rental bed, her breath is constantly strengthening after using the purple Qi from the east to practice Qi technique. The proficiency level of the Yuan man allowed Mu Chen to successfully open up a sea of Qi in an instant. Subsequently, the spiritual power within Mu Chen's body surged at a speed visible to the naked eye. One layer of Qi cultivation period. Qi cultivation period second level. 3 levels of Qi cultivation period. 4 levels of Qi cultivation period. But in just half a quarter of an hour buzzing Mu Chen's aura shook all over her body. Then he suddenly opened his eyes. At this moment, Mu Chen is no longer the same as before, and her breath has undergone earth-shattering changes. At this moment, Mu Chen's cultivation has reached the Qi cultivation stage, the 12 layers of great perfection. That's right. It's the perfect 12th level of Qi cultivation. The highest level of Qi cultivation, the highest level. We are only one step away from building the foundation. As Mu Chen's cultivation continued to rise, the purple aura above Hangzhou also faded at a visible speed to the naked eye. The originally rich purple color has become increasingly pale. It's getting weaker and weaker. By the time Mu Chen's breath had completely broken through and reached the perfect level of the 12th level during the Qi cultivation period, the sky above Hangzhou had once again regained its clarity. Wow, this cultivation has grown so fast. Looking at her own cultivation, Mu Chen couldn't help but be stunned. I didn't expect that practicing this purple Qi from the East Qi technique for the first time could produce such an effect. Did you directly cultivate to the peak of the 12th level of the Qi cultivation period in one breath? This was something Mu Chen never expected. It's great to upgrade quickly during cultivation, but at the same time, it comes at a huge cost. The most direct is the Mount Taishan dragon vein. The dragon vein that was just produced by the Nihility dragon production technique is now dying. Obviously, the essence of heaven and earth has been sucked dry by the dust. Seeing the dying dragon vein of Mount Taishan mountain, Mu Chen couldn't help taking a breath from his mouth. So hanging. I almost sucked this dragon vein to death. This void produces dragons not casually. Its core is to mobilize all the forces that can be mobilized between heaven and earth, and gather essence to form the dragon vein. The total amount of essence of heaven and earth does not change much. It is unrealistic to want to produce dragons indefinitely. So producing dragons is important, and raising dragons is even more important. Gather the essence of heaven and earth into the dragon vein, and then make the dragon vein stronger by the method of cultivating the dragon. With the growth of the dragon vein, the essence of heaven and earth will be more abundant, affecting the world's luck, and the world's spiritual power will rise, thus forming a positive cycle. And now, I almost pulled out the seedlings and sucked the dragon veins to death. It seems that we should pay attention to some points in our future cultivation. Mu Chen had just had such a thought in her mind, but she quickly laughed. Don't worry, you have reached the peak of the 12th level of Qi cultivation period and have reached the ultimate level of cultivation that can be achieved through the purple Qi East Qi training technique. This cultivation method originated from the purple cloud divine skill and is only a cultivation method during the Qi refining period. Now that I have reached the peak of the Qi refining period, naturally, the effectiveness of this cultivation method has disappeared. I need a cultivation method during the foundation period to continue to break through. Chapter 8. The Pattern of Bathing in Dust. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After some consideration, Mu Chen no longer hesitated. In just one day, I have transformed from an ordinary person to a current cultivator in the 12th level of Qi cultivation, and I am very satisfied. As for the rest of the matter, isn't there still a chat group here? As the level of the chat group increases, are you afraid that with your incredible talent, you won't be able to continue to become stronger? Are you in a hurry? It's not necessary at all. By the way, chat groups. Mu Chen's mind immediately returned to the chat group at this moment. Mu Chen is very grateful to the group members in the chat group. I never forget the person who dug the well while drinking water. Although this technique was created by myself, the foundation of this technique was actually Lu Bowen and Yu Buchuan. It was they who shared their techniques for free, so I had the opportunity to understand higher level techniques from the ones they shared. And at this moment in the chat group, everyone naturally saw the entire process of Mu Chen's cultivation. At this moment Zheng, Li Shimin, Lu Bowen, Yu Buchuan, for group members from different worlds have been stunned. Good guy, it triggered such a terrifying celestial anomaly, and it looks like seems to have absorbed all that purple energy. At this moment, everyone's hearts couldn't help but rise with a strong curiosity. Mu Chen is now considered the first true cultivator in the group, so what kind of realm has he reached? Zheng. At Mukin, big brother, how is the effect of your cultivation? Have you made any breakthroughs? Li Shimin. At Mu Chen, Mu Gu, please explain. It's too difficult to practice qi technique with purple qi coming from the east. I can't understand it. Yu Buchuan said, at Mukin, what kind of realm have you reached? Have you broken through? Have you broken through? Lu Bowen. I won't at you anymore, but ask the same question. Looking at the friendly group members, Mu Chen also smiled. Obtain the system, then create your own cultivation method, and embark on the path of cultivating immortals. Your cultivation level soars to the 12th level of the Qi cultivation period. Good guy, Mu Chen's current mood is simply not too beautiful. Think about those cultivators in the novel, even the protagonists are all struggling to death. Not to mention anything else, let's just talk about Han Paopao. In order to break through his cultivation, his life should not be too miserable. There are all kinds of intrigues, all kinds of dangerous situations. Take another look at yourself. Oh my mom, I broke through with just one practice and I can continue to break through without any difficulty. It's not talent that restricts me, it's this world that restricts me. Looking at everyone, Mu Chen, who was in a good mood, immediately froze. Mu Chen said, ha ha ha, fellow Taoists, I have made a fool of myself. With Mu Chen foaming, in an instant, the group chat exploded. The whole group chat exploded. Zheng. Big brother, hurry up and talk. Li Shimin. Brother Mu, what is your current state? Lu Bowen said, I am thinking that with the talent of my fellow Taoist, I must have already opened up the sea of Qi after successfully cultivating my martial arts. Has it been possible that I have already consolidated a layer of realm during the Qi cultivation period? Everyone has seen the purple Qi Dong Lai Qi practice technique uploaded by Mu Chen, and naturally has a clear understanding of the realm division of the technique. The first step in practicing this technique is to open up the sea of Qi, which is the first step in cultivating immortals. After opening up the sea of Qi in the elixir field, there are 12 layers of Qi cultivation, and the cultivation of each layer is extremely difficult considering Mu Chen's proficiency in martial arts. Lu Bowen made a bold guess. Yu Buchuan said, Lu Daochang, is your guess too conservative? I think with Brother Mu's talent, how many realms should he break through in a row? I guess Brother Mu has already broken through to the 3rd level of the Qi cultivation period. After opening up the Qi Sea, he has broken through 3 realms in a row. Lu Bowen said, no, my guess is already very radical. If you were to place the continuous realm breaking technique in my world, with Mu Daoyou's proficiency in the purple Qi East refining technique, perhaps it wouldn't be a big problem. If you were to place it in a higher level world, it might not be enough to even break through the 3 realms. But Mu Guo's world used to have no spiritual energy at all. A world without aura, the only essence of heaven and earth is produced by Mu Daoyou's own empty dragon. How much psychic power can the newly born dragon have? So don't be fooled by Mu Daoyou's movements, but in reality, I guess that Mu Daoyou's consolidation of 1 level of cultivation during the Qi cultivation period is already very radical. After Lu Bowen finished speaking, everyone couldn't help but be convinced. Yes, although Mu Chen's innate intelligence is indeed impressive, the world is not good. Zheng said, alas, it's a pity. If Brother Mu could be born in a higher level world, I don't know how much faster this cultivation speed would be. Li Shimin said, Qin Emperor, aren't we the same? We're not as good as Mu Guer. Mu Guer at least has talent. What do you and I have? Zheng remained silent for a moment, then silently uttered a sentence, do you have Brother Mu? Li Shimin. This sentence directly silenced the group chatting. Zheng, you are really talented. But what this means, it seems like there's nothing wrong with it too. Mu Chen said, ha ha ha, don't even guess. Mu is not talented and luckily broke through the 12th level realm. Now it is already the 12th level of Qi cultivation period, and he should not be able to improve in the short term. With Mu Chen's words suddenly, the group chat fell into silence. Zheng stopped talking, Li Shimin stopped speaking, Lu Bowen and Yu Buchuan also stopped talking. Everyone is confused. 10. 12 floors. What? 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 After a long time, everyone began to express doubts, suspecting that they had heard the wrong thing. All right, you heard me right. I have indeed broken through to the 12th level of the Qi cultivation period, but I have almost mastered this dragon vein and it will take some time to cultivate it. After receiving a positive response from Mu Chen, the group chat once again fell into a brief silence, then it's boiling completely. Zheng. Lie on the bed. Bulging. Mu Guer, you are a god. Li Shimin. Good guy, it's directly on the 12th floor. At Lu Bowen, Lu Daochang, what you guessed is. There's a big deviation. Lu Bowen said, I'm ashamed, but it's not my fault. It's not that I'm not bold, but in fact, Brother Mu is too awesome. Yu Buchuan said, one day reaching the peak of practicing Qi. This. Zheng. Brother Mu, you should teach us well. I also want to cultivate immortality here. I want to live forever for a long time. Li Shimin. I also want to, Brother Mu, you will be my brother in the future. Yu Buchuan said, cough cough. What? Brother Mu, can you give a lecture? The cultivation method you created is really a bit profound and difficult to comprehend. Lu Bowen said, to be honest, I also admire you. It's okay not to study this feng shui technique. I also want to cultivate immortality. In group chat, within a short period of time, there were hundreds of messages scrolling through the group chat. Obviously, the four of them were already crazy. Good guy, you broke through to the 12th level of Qi cultivation in just one day. Is this how the cultivation of immortals is done? Is this too easy? The benefits of cultivating immortality should not be too many. Besides strong strength, the most important one is shouyuan. This is really something that can live longer. Who doesn't want to live long? Not to mention the group members who have obtained such a bug in the chat group system. Everyone's enthusiasm for cultivating immortality is very high, and Mu Chen has no intention of hiding anything. Being alone is better than being together. A group of friends must support each other and move forward together. Can creating a good atmosphere create a virtuous cycle? Upgrading group chat requires the joint efforts of all group members. The higher their respective world levels, the stronger their respective strengths, the more they chat, the more active their group chats become, and the more content they contain in their group files. These are all key factors that affect the promotion of group chats. Helping each other is actually equivalent to helping oneself. To cultivate and become immortal, one must engage in intrigues and conspiracies. If talent is not enough, resources are not enough, and everything is not enough, then it is indeed necessary. In fact, it is just rolling up, but now everyone has golden fingers and no shortage of resources, while oneself is the least lacking in talent, so there is no need to roll up. Mu Chen said, don't worry, I have nothing to do while I'm idle. It's not a big deal to give lectures to everyone. After all, it's thanks to Lu Daochang and Master Yu that this cultivation technique can come out. If you encounter anything you don't understand while practicing, you can ask me directly. Mu knows everything. Seeing Mu Chen's words, everyone couldn't help but admire them in their hearts. Good guy. Pattern. Zheng. 666666, Brother Mu is so atmospheric. Li Shimin said, everyone can't forget the love of Brother Mu. From now on, Brother Mu will be my own brother, Li Shimin. Yu Buchuan said, you has thanked me first here. If we can revitalize Huashan, Mu Guer will be Yu's reincarnated parents. Lu Bowen. I was worried about it before, but I didn't expect it to be a gentleman's belly with a petty heart. Brother Mu, this pattern. I admire it. I admire it so much. Mu Chen said, we are all members of the same group, and we all have a system of golden fingers. Working together can make us walk faster and better. Come on, come on. Zheng. Ha ha ha, Mu Gu'er said it well. I won't accept it. Li Shimin. Remember, remember. In the future, with the order of Brother Mu, I, Li Shimin, will charge into battle. Yu Buchuan said, meeting Brother Mu is really our luck. Lu Bowen said, it's extremely extreme. I have never seen someone with such a pattern before. In group chat, it's extremely lively. And Mu Chen was even more swift and decisive, directly explaining in detail to everyone in the chat group, the atmosphere is particularly harmonious. Chapter 9. The Disappearing Political Brother. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Subsequently, Mu Chen began his lecture in the group chat, everyone quieted down, leaving only Mu Chen constantly speaking, explaining the martial arts techniques. The explanation was very detailed, and during the process, everyone also spoke and inquired multiple times. Mu Chen answered questions one by one to dispel doubts quickly. Mu Chen sorted out this technique from beginning to end. Zheng. I see. I feel like I can do it. Li Shimin. Qin Emperor, are you okay? Zheng said, I have always been good, I have always been good. What are you saying? But question my majesty. Yu Buchuan said, Emperor Tang is really good at joking. The Qin Emperor has already regained his power, so naturally he will do it. Li Shimin said, yes, what master you said is very true. Emperor Qin has truly revitalized his power, and he has done it again and again. Zheng. What a special thing, Yan, don't think I can't hear you, you too are here to entertain me, right? What is called a resurgence of strength? I have always been very good. It's always been great. The group chat is gradually tilting and Mu Chen also retired after achieving success. After this explanation, there shouldn't be too many problems in practicing these two techniques. All the questions that need to be said have already been explained. As for not understanding, isn't there a group chat record here? By flipping through the records and comparing them, you can basically understand. In the group chat, the beeps kept ringing. Mu Chen temporarily stopped following and withdrew from group chat. The mind returns to the real world. Outside, white clouds are blossoming, and the sky is very blue. The warm hot air blows into the room through the window and collides with the cold air blown out by the air conditioner in the room. With a thought, the window closed directly. Looking at the scenery outside the window, Mu Chen was also filled with emotions. How long has it been? In less than a day, my life has undergone earth-shattering changes. It's not an exaggeration to use the word subversion at all. When I first woke up in the morning, I was still an ordinary graduate and thinking about finding a job, but in the blink of an eye, with the system in place and the ability to transcend the heavens, I have created my own martial arts and even practiced them. In just a few moments, I was able to reach the pinnacle of the 12 layers of Qi cultivation. This life, it's truly amazing. Dingdong. Mu Chen's thoughts are drifting suddenly. The sound system on the nearby phone prompted Mu Chen's mind to return to reality. Picking up the phone, I casually swiped open the screen. Mu Chen suddenly froze. Full screen pop-up news. Shocked. The thrilling and eerie cry, experts say, turned out to be revealing. Hangzhou is shrouded in purple clouds, and the Meteorological Bureau has explained that a faint tremor appeared throughout the country of Dragon Kingdom, and it is actually recorded in the Tuebei diagram as early as possible. For anomalies, the official explanation is. Looking at these advertisements, Mu Chen couldn't help but be taken aback and immediately clicked. In others are not clear, but one's own mind is somewhat forced. Aren't these anomalies all caused by oneself? Mu Chen casually clicked on the pop-up window explained by the expert. Recently, many people heard strange cries, suspected of dragon chanting. After interviews, let's see what experts say. Mu Chen continued to look down. He also wants to see what this expert says. Then, to view and unlock the following content, you need to activate a Feifei News membership, and the promotion price is only 1 yuan. Seeing this, Mu Chen's face instantly turned black. Nima. The unlocking of Shentima requires opening a member. You really can attract traffic. Isn't it just 1 yuan? Mu Chen paid directly at will. Then I clicked on the hidden content. Then after interviews, experts said that the sound is suspected to be like a dragon's cry, but further research and verification are needed to determine what kind of creature's call it is. Alright friends, let's wait for the official news to speak. What's going on? Watching this news, Mu Chen's head was filled with question marks, and then black lines began to appear on his entire forehead, his face turning iron blue for a long time. Grass. Bulging. Crazy dad. Mu Chen is simply a dog. Shentamo Jing is waiting for the official speech. Go to your master's research and verification. Are you really not talking nonsense and still asking me to open a membership? After taking a look at the comments below, it is indeed true. All sorts of cursing on the street. Mu Chen only felt that the sun had fallen on the dog. After being tricked by this for $1, my originally beautiful mood has become less beautiful, and at this moment, the remaining light of my gaze fell on another piece of news. For anomalies, the official explanation is. Mu Chen directly clicked in, mainly curious to see how the official explanation goes. Then pulling to the bottom, Mu Chen's face became complex again. To unlock the following content, please download the TikTok app to watch the headlines. Mu Chen. On the spot, Mu Chen was speechless. Forget it, just download it and it will waste some time. I casually clicked on download. After a moment, download completed. Mu Chen clicks to unlock, then redirects to headline news. Regarding the anomaly, there is currently no official explanation. Please remain rational, do not believe or spread rumors, and wait for the official to provide an explanation. Watching a bunch of news on the platform, Mu Chen's face turned black again. Grass. Bulging. Feeling depressed. The words are divided into 2 parts. On the other side in the group chat, after a detailed explanation by Mu Chen, everyone had new insights and ideas about the Void Dragon production technique and the Purple Chi East Coming Chi practice technique. From not being able to understand anything at all, I can now gradually grasp and nibble on the cultivation techniques. Li Shimin. How have you been practicing? Have you gained any insights? Yu Buchuan said, it's still very obscure. I'm just nibbling on it bit by bit according to what Brother Mu said. Lu Bowen. I have a little idea, but I'm still a little short of it. The 3 of them chatted happily, but Zheng, who loves to bubble the most, never bubbles, and this abnormal situation naturally caught Li Shimin's attention. It's hard for others to say, but Zheng and Li Shimin are the most concerned. There's nothing else, mainly because both of them are emperors and are in the most ordinary world. Everyone is similar, so Li Shimin directly competed against Zheng. Li Shimin. Where's Zheng? Why didn't the Qin emperor speak? Lu Bowen. Can you give it a try? Yu Buchuan said, at Zheng, Emperor Qin, what are you doing? Let me help you at. Li Shimin. At Zheng, Emperor Qin, how are you doing with your cultivation of martial arts? Have you succeeded in your cultivation? After a while of in the group chat, Zheng still remained calm and silent. Li Shimin. What's going on? There's something wrong. Lu Bowen. Did something delay you? Yu Buchuan said, I don't know, right? Didn't Qin Emperor go back to his palace? Li Shimin said, what about that person? He can't even come out with such a at. Is it difficult or is he really practicing martial arts? Lu Bowen. It's unlikely, isn't it? I just understood and haven't started learning yet. Li Shimin. What is this guy doing? While everyone was chatting enthusiastically, Zheng suddenly bubbles up. Zheng. Ha 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 ha. Chapter 10. A Little Golden Dragon. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. What? Group chat instantly quiets down. Lu Bowen. Qin Emperor, you. Li Shimin. What are you laughing at? Yu Buchuan said, is it difficult for you, Emperor Qin? You have already. At this moment, there is a bold idea faintly in my heart. Is it difficult? Ha ha ha, I have learned the technique of producing dragons in the void. Everyone, I will demonstrate it to you. Zheng is very happy. He didn't expect his intelligence to be quite good either. Perhaps it was because he was obsessed with immortality, his attention was particularly focused, and his comprehension speed was much faster than others. While everyone was still gnawing on theory, Zheng had already comprehended the technique of creating dragons in the void. Of course, he couldn't wait to come to the group and share, dress, and enjoy, force, with everyone before he had a chance to show off. Li Shimin. Did you really understand? Lu Bowen. Amazing, Emperor Qin. Yu Buchuan said, good guy, the first person to understand Mu Guo's martial arts is actually Qin Huangyu. Li Shimin. Come on, give a quick demonstration, give a quick demonstration. Ha ha ha. Accompanied by Zheng's hearty laughter, the three people in the group chat suddenly had a flash in their eyes. Meanwhile, the Qin Xianyang Zheng has already left the dormitory at this moment. Zheng was standing in the courtyard at the entrance of the palace, surrounded by guards, who turned a blind eye to these eunuchs. Hold back left and right. Ha ha ha, hold your breath. It doesn't exist. I not only want to let the guards, but also let everyone know that I have started cultivating immortality. Hiding and concealing has never been Zheng's style. He is open and domineering, pretending to be powerful, but not pretending in secret. I just dress openly. The summit of Mount Hua. Yu Buchuan's eyes flickered, and the surrounding scenes spun around. However, in an instant, the scene in front of him was no longer the original scene of Mount Hua. The towering palace gate, heavily guarded guards, tsk, truly worthy of being the one emperor for eternity. The palace guards are indeed strict, and the soldiers of the great Qin are also elite. Whether soldiers are elite or veterans can be directly seen from their breath. At least people like Yu Buchuan with rich combat experience can clearly distinguish. The soldiers here have basically killed many people, with a strong sense of solemnity. Especially when they gather together, their evil energy hunts, making people feel intimidated. At this moment, Zheng was standing in the small courtyard, with a faint hint between his eyebrows. Sir. This Qin emperor. Yu Buchuan couldn't help but smile and shake his head. However, this is not incomprehensible. If I were to put myself in a different position, I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to resist this. Tsk, cultivating immortality, this is what many people dream of. From the king to the people, who doesn't want to live forever? Tang Dynasty. In the imperial palace of the Tang Dynasty. Outside the door, Qing Yaojin was anxiously pacing. Your Majesty, has he not come out yet? The guard shook his head. Oh my. The military situation is urgent, they have already reached their doorstep. Qing Yaojin paced anxiously and shouted twice outside the door. Your Majesty. Your Majesty. It's important outside, come out quickly. In the palace, Li Shimin was about to enter the viewing mode to watch Zheng's live cultivation broadcast when he suddenly heard Qing Yaojin's voice. Although he understood that the matter with the Jili Khan was not small, the key was the matter in front of him. It's also very big. Zheng is not Brother Mu. When Brother Mu cultivates, he directly achieves a high level of proficiency. Even if he looks at it himself, it is difficult to see the clues, and he cannot find any inspiration from it. But Zheng is different. Even if he luckily comprehends the martial arts, he must still be quite unfamiliar and clumsy in practice. If he had watched this, he would definitely have gained some inspiration from it. What if I just watch it once? Wait a little longer. I have already made a fuss. Don't panic. I am preparing a plan to defeat the enemy, don't panic. Li Shimin's voice spread out. Outside the door, although Qing Yaojin had a strong opinion, the imperial decree was not to be violated. The emperor had already spoken of this matter, so no matter how anxious it was, we could only wait. After eliminating Qing Yaojin's noise, Li Shimin quickly immersed himself in the chat group system and entered the live streaming mode. At this point, Zheng had already started practicing his understanding of the Void Dragon production technique Xianyang Palace. In the courtyard in front of Zheng's dormitory, Zheng was walking while performing his moves. The technique of producing dragons in the void has been practiced to the highest level by Mu Chen, so the moves have been simplified, and all the traction moves have become a mental movement. However, Zheng obviously couldn't achieve this level. He could only use each move in a one-on-point-one manner. From an outsider's perspective, it was a bit of a godly chatter. The guards guarding the perimeter of the courtyard widened their eyes one by one, looking at Zheng, who was alone in a frenzy in the courtyard, and looked at each other with a look on their faces. Your Majesty, what's going on? Is it difficult to be diagnosed with hysteria? But this doesn't seem like either. The guards looked at each other and exchanged eye contact with each other. The saying goes that layman watched the excitement, while layman watched the tricks. In the eyes of the guards, Zheng was just playing around and making some extremely awkward moves. However, in the group chat, his every move corresponded to the records in the Void Dragon technique, which were extremely precise. Especially the combination of mnemonic techniques and techniques, it has its own rhythm and charm. Lu Bowen said, Qin Emperor is really amazing. This method of reciting the mind while hitting moves is a good one. Li Shimin said, now it depends on whether Brother Zheng can mobilize the power of heaven and earth. Yu Buchuan said, as the Lord of the Great Qin, mobilizing the power of heaven and earth would be much simpler. So are you, the people of the world. Li Shimin. I don't know, I haven't started operating it yet, I hope so. And just as everyone was talking, Xianyang Palace in the courtyard in front of the gate of Zheng's sleeping palace, sha sha sha. The fallen leaves made a friction sound with the ground. Courtyard. The wind is rising. Li Shimin. 666666666, Jinggu is so awesome. Lu Bowen said, you have activated the power of heaven and earth. This traction technique has only been used halfway. Good guy, it was successfully activated for the first time. Qin Emperor's talent is truly not weak. Yu Buchuan. Good guy, it really attracts the power of heaven and earth. At this moment, the guards guarding the small courtyard looked around in confusion. This wind, how does it feel? A bit strange. Everyone looked at His Majesty, who was still reciting obscure and difficult to understand mnemonics in the courtyard, walking with eerie steps. This scene, this action, how do you feel? Like it's in line with this trend. I vaguely felt a sense of what kind of charm. At this moment, Zheng, who was practicing the technique of producing dragons in the void, was already ecstatic in his heart. Good guy. Success. I really succeeded. I truly successful. Is it a means that ordinary people can use to activate the power of heaven and earth? Can I barely count myself as starting to cultivate immortality? Although his heart was extremely excited, Zheng forcibly suppressed his excitement. Now that the cultivation is at a critical moment, don't be careless. Never be careless. If this fails, it would be a huge loss. Zheng continued to meticulously carry out his operations. Li Shimin, Lu Bowen, and Yu Buchuan are focused on watching and learning through live streaming mode, while also cooperating with martial arts to gain insights. Not to mention, everyone has gained a lot. Even everyone felt that after watching this wave of operations by Zheng, they seemed to be able to give it a try. It's okay too. As time passed, Zheng's actions became faster and faster. Step by step, recite the mnemonic, work on the technique in your heart, and simultaneously pinch the hand print in your hand. As Zheng's movements became faster and faster, the wind in the small courtyard also grew stronger, and soon, buzz. The whole world suddenly stagnated. The sky suddenly darkened a bit. A dragon's roar sounded. Subsequently, a small golden dragon phantom the size of a thumb slowly appeared 3 feet above Zheng's head, gradually hovering above Zheng's head.